Rick, have you started the recording? Okay, thank you.
Sorry, my mouse had died and I had to bring in
Yep.
the backup mouse all of a sudden.
Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to demand you possess, Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 443rd One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, we have the honor of being joined with the members and support members of the Universal Council, who will be presenting today's program. And I believe we begin with Mark today. So let me get that presentation ready here. And we will begin.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you for the background, this room without a roof. And there's a couple of songs I've listened to that have that sort of understanding that the universe is actually open to us and not so limited, but there are some prerequisites. We want to welcome everyone and thank everyone for being here, acknowledge your presence. If you're not sure why you're here, maybe you can ask your central energies, or what we call the soul, as why you're here. But I think the souls do know. And of course, they're delivering a beautiful package through the Keshe Foundation called the One Planet, One Nation, One Race program. Right now, it's called the Keshe Foundation. And we're all taking part in delivering or elevating humanity that their physical life improves. And then we're worthy to be part of the universal community. And of course, I see us as entering that dimension of energy every time you put your head on the pillow, or when your pillow hits the head, or however you do it, you're going into that dimension. So we're practicing this more, and we're opening up the understanding of the mystery of the matter state of the entity to its energies. So yes, Rick, beautiful. And this came actually from the AI. We've always heard those expressions, a room without a roof, or maybe a thatched roof or something else. But now we know this pathway between your central energies and the universal community, in a way, this line of communication, this life is open 24 hours a day. It's just that we've really not understood it and sort of ignored it. And we all have this two dimensions and probably more. So we're just opening this up for everybody and creating a condition and a gift. As Mr. Keshe said, maybe this is the reasons for birthdays. You give gifts out to the others who have wished you well and a happy birthday and so on. And so Mr. Keshe has given out coins. We're going to talk about those today to certain people at this time. We're going to talk about the game of peace and enlightenment. We're going to talk about the One Nation network, as these are all sort of combined and twinning together to deliver this beautiful package for humanity to make conditions on this planet less harsh for all of us. And then, of course, as we understand, once the physical needs are met, the mind is free to explore these universal dimensions in a more deeper way. So we thank each and every one of you for being here and carrying a small part and contributing as well. Funds are always needed, but you're actually giving to yourself as you donate to the Keshe Foundation for the improvement of humanity and the understanding of peace within the universe. And again, it's almost like when you have an organ that's not producing correct cells, and we sort of have that here on this planet, releasing indented souls or not completed souls into the universe that carry on certain patterns of killing and destruction. This is part of the sort of remodeling of this structure, and then this structure's understanding will take this across the universe and elevate them as well. So it's a much bigger plan than just for this planet, but we have to, again, twin up with the universal community. Even though we're already part of it, we're, as I said, a bit indented or demented in a way, and this is part of the correction of the understanding so we can have a full engagement over the next decades and centuries and millennia, and then eternally. So thank you all for being here. This is very precious knowledge. A lot of it is about you and understanding how you work and how you're triggered and how you can balance certain things. We are the reactor. We have been the MagRav all along. It's just that we were looking in the matter state, so to speak, for the full understanding of it when it's really in this energy dimension. And you are that MagRav that's often referred to. Not that it doesn't work in the physicality, it certainly does. But we take that understanding as we understand, we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. So beautiful knowledge, esoteric knowledge. It's been hidden. Many groups know this and many have practiced this, but now it's becoming open to all of us in a way. And we thank the universal teacher and all those supporting, and you are part of that support since you're here. Rick, I see you've put the coin up. Again, it's not fully functioning. Neither is the game fully functioning. Neither is the network fully functioning. Everything seems to be out for test and being perfected. But by playing it in its sort of not perfect condition, you're helping to perfect the entire system. So those who've received coins, apparently they've gone out on August 2nd, Mr. Keshe's birthday. He's given gifts to many people. And again, you'll be receiving more coins in the beginning of 27. These are just 10 or so coins for test. So you've received about a $10,000 gift. He does give big, doesn't he? So this is part of, again, making an entire structure work as more and more people start to accept and use the Keshe coin. Remember, Bitcoin didn't just take off in one day or 1 week. It was promoted, and this is what we're here to do, to promote the coin, promote the game of peace, and promote the One Nation Network, as this seems to be sort of the core team, if I could use that expression. So the 1,000 coins, again, the understanding of survival becoming a human right. This is part of the key of that human right, that no one is abused due to a lack of, let's say, ability to gather resources and meet their physical needs. And here is a video of the Keshe coin. There are actually 6 of them, or more perhaps now, on YouTube. I'm sure Rick will put in the YouTube link. You can start to understand the sort of philosophical concept with this coin, that it's just not a mere speculative coin or just for exchange, but it has a much bigger understanding, and it applies to children, it applies to students, it applies to adults and everyone in between, that we can all sort of live with confidence that we not have to worry where the next meal is coming from, or living paycheck to paycheck. This is going to stabilize many things. And, you know, before the Keshe Foundation, I always thought sovereign nations and borders were very important, that this is how you maintained order and sort of stability. But actually, these borders and all of this actually creates instability as one gets stronger than the other, wants to take, and so forth and so on. So now I've moved to the understanding of one nation, one planet, one race for world peace. Is a much higher order of understanding in how we work, and this will facilitate the collaborative and cooperative process on this planet. So let's hear from this gentleman. I think he works for a number of different video producers. I've heard this voice many times. It's probably a AI creation, but I'm not fully sure about that. Almost everything is these days. But go ahead, Rick, if you'd like to play the coin, which seems to be the center, which everything is going to circle around, and again, make life harsh on the planet. We're already in heaven. We have the most beautiful place in the matter state in the universe. It's just we need to move away from the killing and destruction of you in your universe. And this is the idea, that you find peace or create peace within your own universe first, and then the others. So yeah, we all have quite a bit of work to do as far as creating a peaceful universe within ourselves.
Okay, thank you, Mark. This is the Keshe coin video number 4. And was played in the last Knowledge Seekers workshop. So
you'll share that link, Rick, in YouTube that people can study these. It's far-reaching.
yeah, I'll get the playlist link shortly here.
Across the world, brilliant minds are waiting. Students with dreams, ideas, and intelligence. Students with dreams, ideas, and intelligence, but without the tools, guidance, and support to rise. In poor countries, in forgotten communities, across continents and cultures, talent is not missing. Opportunity is missing. Keshe Coin is here to change that. Keshe Coin is introduced as a digital currency for a greater mission. 1,000 Keshe Coins, with each coin valued internally at 1,000 euros. The path to a dignified life is opened. Access to food, healthcare, and growth can be guaranteed. Through the online peace game, people can participate in a new global movement. Receive Keshe Coin as part of your contribution to peace learning and collective progress. This is not about speculation, it is about education, cooperation, and building a better world. Those who physically purchase and operate the official device can also receive Keshe Coin, expanding the global network in recognition of their support for this worldwide digital ecosystem. The support model of Keshe Coin is designed to be anchored in physical gold and company equity. It is backed by the knowledge, technologies, and achievements of the Keshe Foundation. With this support, students who once had no path can be guided, protected, and supported. From training to practical application, their future is secured until their journey is complete. From limitation to knowledge, from uncertainty to dignity, from isolation to a future shared by all humanity. One nation, one planet, one race. When knowledge is supported, when talent is protected, and when humanity is connected through peace, a new future becomes possible. A future where no brilliant student is left behind. A future where technology serves human dignity. When humanity lives in dignity and peace, the soul can elevate. With an elevated soul, humanity can look beyond survival. A future where the human soul can rise beyond struggle and begin to look toward the stars, toward the depths of space, the understanding of existence, and the mystery of creation. Keshe Coin, for peace, knowledge, and the elevation of humanity.
all right, that was our excerpt from our rather Keshe Coin video number 4. And now we'll play an excerpt from the last Knowledge Seekers workshop about the gift to humanity and the international government structure having to do with that Keshe Coin. It starts at about the 13.5-minute mark into the 654th Knowledge Seekers workshop. And this will be about 15 minutes.
Divert a little bit in the first 5 or 10 minutes of teaching of today to bring out a very important information to all knowledge seekers that will bring everything we said to the next step, and then we go back to teaching. As you heard in the intro, the introduction of Keshe Foundation to governments and collaboration, many of you have received a gift on my birthday on Sunday, as you wish me a beautiful birthday date last week. I returned your love and your kindness, with offering all your knowledge seekers. Many of you have already received the email, and many of you will receive more of it in the coming days, as a gift of my birthday to all of you. In this message, we ask you first to sign into the Keshe Foundation Association in Austria. That makes you eligible to receive the coin. If you haven't registered into the Keshe Foundation Austria Association, we cannot give you the coin. We have sorted, and we are sorting the situation that many of you cannot pay to become a member, to make it in a way available for those who cannot, due to like governments or place where you are and the facility doesn't exist, like in Africa and some Asian countries and some South American countries, that you don't need to pay to be registered. We are facilitating that. Hopefully should be cleared that you can register for association. And once you register for the association, you go into the game, and then in the game you send us your, not a cash coin, not the CC coin, but KC coin, Keshe coin, your account number. Please send us the Q code. Don't send me the digit, because it takes a long time to put your digits in. And we send you a gift. The first gift is, in a way, 10 coins to each one of you who goes through the process on this. But as we said, you heard in the beginning, the tape of the intro today, you have to send us which authority, which government, and what is your tax number to the government. You all pay taxes, you have a social security, you have a tax association, somewhere you pay taxes to your government. You have to provide us with that tax number. In that process, we send a message to your government, to tax office where you pay, that on you registering for the coin, your government has become entitled to receive 100 coin, 100,000 for your registration. Which means they can accept the coin and be registered by the Keshe Association. We tell them the procedure they have to follow. And if, let's say, 50 of you, 20 of you are from, let's say, England or China or whatever, your government receives literally 2 million euro in coins. This brings the acceptance in. Once they accept to receive the coins, it brings the collaboration between you and your government, and you declare your coin you received to your government. But as long as you don't spend the coin, you don't pay taxes on it. You can keep it in your wallet. And this was the purpose we sent this out. We need you to give us your tax registration and where you pay to. That we get in touch with your government, with your tax office, and say, we have such a person who is registered with us, and as part of our promise, we make available in the next 10 years 10 coins per year for this person who has registered, and they'll be receiving 30 coins a year. And the 10 coins you receive this year and the request we send to you does not count as part of the 30 coins. So this year you will receive the 30 coins in association, around maybe 2.5 or 3 coins per month to cover it. We don't release all 30 coins in one go. We release to you on a systematic way. The system will be set up in the background that on a given time, randomly, we don't make you addict to wait for the first of the month to then play games the way people do with their lives. Once a month, you receive allocation that it covers you with 30 coins a year. When you spend this coin, you transfer how much you spend the coin and what you did with it, and become your income. You declare it. If they ask you to pay tax, maybe 20%, 10%, you pay back. The rest of the coin you keep. At the same time, the Keshe Foundation store, which hopefully open in the next few days, And gradually in the next few weeks, you will see campaign option on the coin. Part of the products or some of the products can be fully, or services can be fully paid with a coin into the Keshe coin section of the game. Keshe Foundation will open its own account on the game and you pay to that. And then the people responsible and the system in the background check what you paid, or partially is a coin, partially is payment. And the same goes with the government. We offer services to the government that they can pay with the coins they receive from you or on your behalf when you registered. So this week is important to us. Many of you just sent us the number of your KC account. Please send us QR code. It's easier for us to handle. It's there on the site. And secondly, provide us with the authorities and your tax number that we can send a message to the authorities. They're entitled to 100,000 for your registration in the next 10 years. And if 1,000 people register and the government receives 10,000 per person this year, is a lot of money. Gradually, as the systems and technologies become available, our services becomes available to the governments, which means they want to open a hospital, they want to use our technology, they don't need to go and find budget in their cash accounts of the government. They can pay us with our coins. And these coins will be used again in the system to, in a way, pay back to you and run the services. So collaborate with us. You register. If you have not registered with the association in Austria, we cannot release your coin. You have to tell us you have signed, and the references will be checked. You become entitled for the cash coin, and at the same time, you have to provide us your tax detail and the authorities you pay to, references and whatever. And then we start a process, collaboration between the governments, you registering, and the beginning of the Keshe coin become international structure in the worldwide structure of the Keshe Foundation. If we receive 1,000 members registration from you, from the invitations we sent you, then if, let's say 50, 100 of you from the United States, we inform the United States Treasury or the states you are in that they're entitled to this 100,000 per registration over the next 10 years. So you can see how it escalates into 10 million, hundreds of millions for government, especially third world nations. We negotiate between countries. We have already started that they accept cash coin in partial payment for services or full services. Systems like water cleanup, systems like using Keshe Foundation internet system for medical application. We can do this because we have the power to do it. The technology is getting set up. This week, in the new website reopening, you will see a list of jobs which we are offering for the research centers in China. Expertise and the field of expertise we need. If you have, contact us back, and then we structure your interview, understanding you can, and moving you into Chinese Research Center to start working from 1st of January or first month of January, February of next year. We have moved into directly what we promised, and the Keshe coin has become the backbone of the work. Please follow. Many of you have received the offer, the gift of the coin. Now you know it's 10 coins, but you need to give us feedback that we can allocate. You have to register with the association that makes you eligible to use the coin. It's an internal coin. And then we get your governments to sign into the Keshe Foundation Association the same, that they can use the allocation and claim the 100,000 per individual registered. Remember one thing. Once you sign yourself in this system, you can sign your wife, your daughters, your children, your grandchildren with their authorization. into the system. And they start receiving the 30 coin, 10 coin, 20 coin, 50 coin, your parents, your grandparents. At this moment of time, it might not be able for you to value much, but in the coming time, as we connect the Keshe coin to stock market valuation of the Keshe Foundation, organizations owned in Market Corporation and in Shanghai Corporation, and in connection to production of materials, rare earth materials which you produce, it gains value. It's very much like when the Bitcoin came in, a lot of people dug it and they put it away and they forgot about it. And now that it's gained values of 50, 60, 100,000, they're all looking for it. Now you're in the same position. Claim it, store it. This year you might be able to spend 1,000 of it, next year 10,000 of it, and then gradually build up the situation. And this is for your benefit, your family benefit. So you increase, but every member of your family has to register with the Keshe Foundation Association. Your parents, for the first time, as I said, on the Keshe Foundation store opening, you get access to the Chinese website of the Keshe Foundation gradually in the next few weeks. You can buy a product directly from Chinese side. We have many knowledge seekers which produce products, and they become resellers of the Keshe Foundation. You can ask our team to connect your shop to our shop, and we arrange services that in that place, part of your products can be in a way paid by Keshe coin, and we back you to do it. You have companies who can benefit by the Keshe coin. Register your companies again. You work for associations, register yourself, that we can connect you, your companies into Keshe coin, and you can ask your staff to register for a Keshe coin. Follow the same system. We have to have them to register at the association that they're part of the Keshe Foundation structure. We cannot give coins to people who have not registered. And secondly, we need to know which authorities your company, your loved ones, your institute works that claims the coin, that we pay directly within a few weeks or whatever the coins to the authorities. It's their treasury, and we follow it, how they spend it, who they spend it with, and it doesn't get coupled up because everything is transparent. I thank you for being with us, supporting us, and now we entered what we promised. Your registration with what we gifted you brings your government, your nation, as part of the Keshe Foundation to claim, to bring the structure in that we can move to the next.
Okay, that was our excerpt from the last 654th Knowledge Seekers Workshop last Thursday, August 6th, and regarding the structure of the Keshe coin. Okay, let me get my program back up here.
So like the knowledge, you have to open the door with the coin. You're entitled to the coin, but unless you register for the foundation, as he said, we cannot give you your coin. So there's some work on our side to do as well. But as I said, if you put up €1 and you're getting perhaps 1,000 Keshe coins over a lifetime, and if it didn't work out, it's planned to work out, you haven't really lost much.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Next, we're moving into the World Peace Treaty. And I believe this is with Shweta.
Yes, my dear. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. And World Peace Treaty, my dear beautiful soul. As we are all signing it, signed, will be going to, with our soul pen and with our pen. And this is not a piece of paper, and this has been an emotional balance. This has been emotional attachment. This has been the alignment of mind, body, and soul. And I will say, uh, even, and this is not a magic that I'm signing this peace treaty and I am peaceful now. No, that is not. You have to understand this is always what we are: peace, peaceful human beings, peaceful humanity. But we just forgot that from thousands of years. Now, remembering again the peacefulness we were, the tribe we were, sharing each other, loving each other. And this is the way this treaty works from you, from within you, me, to the world, to humanity, to the cosmos. So please do, and please do sign the World Peace Treaty. And we, as citizens of Earth, from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We shall never think about getting involved. Yes, we never thought we will get involved, but we involved because we believed in wars at all this time. So we were never like that. So eliminate this negativity from your inner realm. Incite war or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we all agree and swear with our nation, territory, council, religion, city, town, body, and soul. Without tools of need and tools of aggression have a loss of difference. The music are also like, tools to be in love, to behave in love, to spread the love, the songs, the poetry, the artists, what can I say? All are tools, but tools of peace and love and abundance. So please do sign the World Peace Treaty, and in the Austrian registration in the Keshe Foundation, and this is very mandatory that you have to sign the World Peace Treaty. And those who are signing only to get the Keshe coin, that is absurd. You have to sign and understand it. Then you can go ahead, forward with the game, with the One Nation Network, with all that is love from Keshe Foundation. So thank you so much, my dear beautiful soul. Do kindly, please sign the peace treaty. This is the call from the soul of Keshe Foundation. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salut.
Okay, this is the invitation to be part of the Keshe Foundation. And as Mark mentioned earlier, there is a keshefoundation.at website, which is the Austrian website. And it's where you sign up to be a member of the Keshe Foundation and start your account, basically your membership in this association. Mark or anyone else, would you like to say some more about that?
Yeah, this just helps facilitate. I think there's going to be an association set up in each nation, and this will, because it's an internal coin, I guess the association makes it function better within the members of the association worldwide or nationally. So associations will be set up tailored to your individual nation's rules and laws, apparently. So it won't be an exact copy, but it'll be as close of an exact copy of what's set up in Austria as can be determined by your local ordinances or laws, and that it complies. And then all the different associations will be linked into the Austria Association. But as Mr. Keshe said, we can't give you your coins unless you sign up for this. And he's mentioned this a number of times. Also, another addendum or another caveat is you must sign the World Peace Treaty. I think if you look at the Keshe coin constitution. I don't know if that's publicly available. You will see at the end of it, after 21 pages, that the World Peace Treaty appears. And my understanding is you will re-up for the association every year, as well as reconfirm your commitment to world peace. So it's not that you'll just sign the World Peace Treaty once and forget about it and receive your coins. You'll have to go through the process on a yearly basis, as I understand it. And some of this funds that are collected in the association are used to administer the game of peace and enlightenment, and obviously to pay the administrators as well. And of course, I heard in that video that this internal coin to the Keshe Foundation is actually backed by gold. Where is the foundation buying all this gold from, that it's going to back each coin? Or maybe they're not buying it, they're actually creating it, like he did in Beijing, China in 2025. This was just a show, perhaps. Again, they put a little pin in the Big Bang theory, but also show what materials can be produced. And it's not just AU, as they say. Many materials, from cotton to copper and water and everything in between, can be produced. So yes, this coin is the only coin backed by gold. And there's a reason for that as well. Maybe it's just an interim reason. But you need to start here, sign up for the game, continue, get in line. Not everyone's received coins and so on. But I would get in line for your allotment or your entitlement, as he said. And this is the first step, and I think it's the best offer on the internet, €1 for potential 1 million lifetime 1,000 Keshe coins valued at 1,000 each. So as I said, if it does go south, you haven't lost much, but it's intended to work, and to work very flawlessly once it's perfected. And that may take some time for this whole structure to work properly. But that's part of the beauty of helping develop it. So when humanity tastes the cake, it's perfect. And they'll want to thank those who've put it together in a way. And we're all part of that. So join up, and this is the way we're bringing the peace and the structure to move into the one planet, one nation, one race. It's just not a thought. There's an infrastructure to be built and perfected. And we're part of doing that. So we're privileged and humbled to be here and to provide this gift in a way as part of what Mr. Keshe has given to humanity at Christmas of 2025, which was the biggest gift he could give humanity. Now it's up to us to develop it, bring it, perfect it, and so on. And there's more added. It's almost like a cell phone. I use very few features on my cell phone, and this game certainly has a lot of features. I was actually reading about the ambassadors, and then there's apparently golden ambassadors, but I think they'll all be, as we are, ambassadors for peace. So it's much bigger structure is being set up than we can fully imagine, I think, at this point. And humanity will be quite appreciative as their physical life starts to change through this whole structure. But again, it's not going to happen in 1 week or 1 day. This is a step-by-step process, more or less.
Yeah, and for people that are beta testers and those that like to be on the ground floor of a new enterprise or a whole new way of living, actually, then now is the time to get involved with it all. For others that might be more, less leading edge and may want to go with the flow of the majority, you might have to wait a month or two for things to coalesce more solidly. But for example, the game is progressing very well. I find it's much more playable and even more enjoyable now, with extra features and things, bugs that have been fixed and whatnot. And it's they're working hard in the background to produce very nice products, and we're starting to see the results of all that hard work. So it's a very interesting time to be involved with the this new way of interacting with the Keshe Foundation. And it's not just interacting with the Keshe Foundation, as Mr. Keshe said in that excerpt. It's connected with the governments, it's connected with services of various companies, and the companies are interconnected, and everything is working through that blockchain type technology to, as Mr. Keshe said, to make things transparent. So all the interchanges and exchanges are coded and recorded and part of that blockchain. So it keeps everybody honest, and it shows the paper trail without the paper, so that various things can be tracked if necessary. So it's interesting times, and this Keshe coin has got a lot of things attached to it, that much of which, as was mentioned by Mark, that we don't see right now, and it's being developed as we speak, basically.
Think of all the countries that want to do a cleanup with water or other contaminants, but yet they don't have the financial ability to do it. Their nationals are suffering now with the Keshe coin and with the efficient technology, the space technology. Just by using the Keshe coins in exchange, they can get that technology and clean up their water systems or whatever contamination or many other ecological things we'll start to see happening. But they won't have to search for dollars or whatever they're valued in. Or go to a loan for a World Bank or a International Monetary Fund. They can actually use the Keshe coins that their nationals have given them. And I'm sure this is going to work quite nicely once it starts to flow. Literally.
I think we'll, yes, literally. I think we'll see a lot of that information come out in the conference in Switzerland coming up in October, which will be dealing specifically with contamination and decontamination and water and other such resources, which I'm sure will be tied into the Keshe coin. And maybe that's why the conference is in Switzerland, which has been known for its independence regarding financial things. So perhaps that's an appropriate place to release such a Keshe coin.
Right, and that Swiss conference has one day for governments and commercial people, I believe, and another day for knowledge seekers. I think it's a 2-day, but it could go longer, who knows. But that's what it's slated. But he said it would be the showcase of the demonstration of the advanced technology in the Western world. So this will be quite a feat to see what is actually shown here. He did talk about cleanup or environmental conditions and some other things. So if you're in Europe, if you're close by, I think it's €1,000 to attend. Again, there'll be 2 separate sort of presentations, one for government officials, ambassadors, and commercial people, and then the second day will be for the knowledge seekers. But again, it's similar to and probably expanded on what was shown in China in 2025. In a way, advanced technology. I'm sure he won't repeat that, but there'll be some other, again, things we haven't seen or could hardly imagine could be done. And this will just be, in a way, serving a few appetizers for those present and those who see in the future what is possible right now. So we support the Swiss conference, and hopefully you do as well.
Okay, let's move along to our next position here, which is the wishes. And we have 3 wishes here, and we'll have a minute of silence after each wish to contemplate and implement the wish.
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls to having world peace and justice all over this planet very soon. This is our wish, and our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, give from our souls to provide for the success of the goals of Keshe Foundation. Our wish is our command, and we are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for the continued development and expansion of the new plasma city, hidden behind the game of peace and enlightenment, allowing the freedom of the physicality and soul of humanity. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
Okay, thank you for those wishes. Next, we have the connection between souls. And I had Dean or Lissy for this, but I'm not sure if Lissy is here. See, Dean is not here, so.
Lucy is here. I can see her. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I don't hear Lissy, so maybe she's not available right now.
I can do that.
Okay, go ahead, Mariners. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's Mehran's Farsi language support of Universal Council. So thank you for being there in spite of vacations. And so we go on with our soul connections as usual. Soul connection is a practice that we do to exert our soul and to learn how to communicate with other souls around us. We are a group of people. There are others like us which have the same field emotion than like us. And when we decide, we put our intention and emotion to connect with all of them, we just let that part of us, which is the guidance inside us, connect with others. We just let go of physicality. It's like the dream when we dream. So we let go of our soul and we connect to everybody which has the same good intentions about humanity, advantage of human life. We have decided anything on this world, every kind of philosophy or ism, different methods of life. And now we are in the moment that we have to go to our souls. We have to find a way of life with considering our souls. And that's the only judgment, and that's the only judge in our lives. So humanity has to come back to their souls so that a lot of problems, which are the greed, which are killing, which are suppressing, which are injustice, can be handled. When we refer to our soul and when we have the ethics roles, ethics criteria, we cannot be wrong because in our way of thinking, we all pay everything we do, we say, and we think. Good or bad, we pay accordingly. It's not us or somebody else who decides. It's just the fields and the strength of the fields who find where they are supposed to be and what they are supposed to do. So when it's the fields, emotion or energy-wise, decide, that's the more just recompensation of our acts. And it is just because we cannot interfere with that according to our wills. So we let our soul go and connect with other soul. And we give from our soul to all humanity for peace and happiness, for a long-lasting peace. That, as Mr. Keshe said, the soldier look at his rifle and he says, "What am I doing?" He throws away the rifle. So we want peace, and that's our wish, and we connect our souls for a long-lasting, happy life for humanity. So, thank you very much. Of course, we can extend our souls. We can give from our souls to anybody, to everybody, for solving any problems we have. And especially those who decide for humanity, and we give them from our souls so that they come to themselves, so that they see the consequences of their action. And that's why we, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present on the earth in unifying at the soul level every time, every day, and at 9 p.m. CET, CEST. We, the Universal Council, give from our souls and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader in every nation, work as one soul in one direction to achieve peace, as one nation, one planet, and one race. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marinus. Next, I have a short excerpt from the 576 Knowledge Seekers Workshop about the invitation to be part of the Universal Council.
There's something which I should have made an announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60 and they serve during the 60 years they are there till 61. They, to run the functionality of the operation of the, what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally. And we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply for to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of true structure of the nationality. Understanding the culture that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I also want to add that this is a call from the heart and soul of Keshe Foundation. Please do join as Universal Council members, Universal Council support members, as Universal souls in the beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. And we welcome you with open heart and, yes, of course, for peace and love and abundance. And this is the time to serve, as we are here to serve, not to be served, dear beautiful souls. Thank you so, so much. Welcome. Salam, namaste, salute.
Here we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council to send your questions to be answered live each week and or the needs of your community. Thank you for joining us as one soul. So we are asking those of you who are interested in participating with us to send us questions. You can do it through various Telegram group which has been created to serve various communities across the planet. And people are available there to answer questions there of the Universal Council member or the Universal Council members, Council support team. And so by doing so, you help the work and clarify things, move things bit by bit towards peace and prosperity as we are trying to create. So we encourage and hope that you participate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mashfaq. We do have an interesting question from YouTube, but perhaps we'll address that later in our wishes part of the program. I'll just say the question now so we can contemplate it, perhaps. The question is from Diego, I believe is probably the name. How do I achieve intuitive vision? Is there a breathing exercise? So I'll put that out as a pondering question for a bit. I think that we'll have some answers for that, and we can look at that a little bit later, perhaps, unless you want to address it now. Let's do it later. Okay, so thank you, Mashfaq. And next we have, let's see if it's lined up here. Yes. We have the AI video summary of the last 654th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And that's where the background image came from for today's program as well.
And I heard a report from Stefania that was saying how well the Italian knowledge seekers are enjoying these AI creations, myself as well. I think around the world, it's a beautiful summary, and we thank the creator, the Notebook LM, Ed, and so on. We're all really enjoying sort of a concise, but as Mr. Keshe says, no matter who interprets it, AI or me or anyone, the knowledge doesn't change. But we certainly thank the for this production, these productions, these
Yes, indeed. Big gratitude and thanks to Ed Weatherall in particular, who instigated these, initiated these AI interpretations, and they seem to be working out quite well. Okay, so let me play this about 11 minutes and just make sure I'm lined up. Here we go. Yes. Okay, bear with me a second here or two while I have to do a little dance to get the video to jumpstart here.
Welcome back to this explainer, everyone. Today, we're embarking on a really profound, almost meditative journey. We're going to bridge the deeply intimate space of the inner physical brain straight out to the vast, infinite expanse of the universe. Based on the incredible materials provided in the teachings, we're diving into the absolute mechanics of our energy, our existence, and how we physically plug into the cosmos. So settle in, get focused, and let's explore the true architecture of our reality.
Let's kick things off with a pretty profound thought straight from the teachings, just to set the tone for this exploration. The quote is, "I made man in the image of myself. Intelligence, justice, love." Now you have to understand, this isn't just nice poetry, right? It's actually a literal structural blueprint. Because as we'll see today, the very essence of this intelligence and justice governs not just human morality, but the literal hard physics of how our bodies interact with the stars.
Phase 1, the cosmic blueprint within. Okay, so let's get our core definitions straight. The foundation defines the soul of the man, or the STM, as the true central energy control hub connecting us to the universe. Conventional science, it focuses heavily on the physical brain, but the teachings show us the brain is merely the physical control center. The soul is the energy control center. On the flip side, you have the spirit of physicality, or STP. That's the mechanism that takes this absorbed cosmic energy and actually converts it into physical matter, literally creating your muscle tissue, your bones, and your limbs. Now, picture this. The soul acts exactly like a planetary core, sitting deep down inside the center of your brain. The physical form you have, your legs, the way you stand, is actually determined by these magnetic gravitational field lines stretching downward. The soul is pulling these fields down, interacting with Earth's gravity and inertia. It is quite literally shaping our physical bodies based on our exact distance from the Earth's core. And here is where it gets incredibly mind-bending. This reveals a totally fractal reality, because this core energy structure doesn't just exist that one time in the center of the brain. According to the teachings, every single cell in your body possesses its very own individual soul and energy center. The local spatial position of each tiny cellular soul, how it interacts with its immediate environment and the planet's pull, that dictates the exact physical form of our internal organs. It's molding the precise shape of your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. It's an entire universe inside you. But here's the absolute kicker. 80%. We constantly think our physical bodies are powered entirely by the physical food we eat here on Earth, right? Well, The Foundation reveals that a massive 80% of our vital energy is actually absorbed directly from the universal environment and cosmic space, not from our diet. Our physical life is essentially an ongoing process of fueling reactors to accumulate field energy. Moving on to Phase 2, sleep as a cosmic rehearsal. This completely reframes something humanity has feared for millennia. The teachings redefine what we actually call physical death. Death is simply an involuntary anti-gravity state. It's just the moment the physical body finally gathers enough energy to reverse its relationship with gravity and detach the soul. This is a heavy contrast with transmutation, which is a voluntary balancing of these fields. Transmutation allows the central energy of the soul to be totally free to access any dimension in the universe without losing the physical body. And the fascinating thing is, we practice this separation every single night. Sleep is quite literally a cosmic rehearsal. When we sleep, the energy balances out between our physicality and our soul, allowing the soul to travel on its own energetic track. But it maintains a vital energetic anchor tied right back to our sleeping physical body. So we are basically early learners, practicing this energetic detachment for decades of our lives. Which brings us to a really striking, almost surreal metaphor from the teachings regarding why suicide is strictly forbidden. The quote says, "It's just sending a man with one leg out to do a marathon race. It violently ejects an immature, partially made soul out into space way before it's finished gathering the universal energies it needs for the journey. The physical vessel absolutely must mature fully, starting from the exact minute the soul is created in the womb, just to prep for this eventual cosmic takeoff." All right, Phase 3, GANs and the plasma state. You know how modern science claims that at absolute zero, minus 273 degrees Celsius, everything freezes and all physical motion just completely stops? Well, the Foundation reveals the other half of physics. While physical matter certainly freezes, magnetic fields carry on entirely independent of temperature. The universe is completely full of places way colder than absolute zero, and the energetic fields of creation just continue to flow and feed life completely unhindered. We can actually see a real-world example of this principle right here in our own oceans. Think about the organisms thriving in the most extreme ocean depths. They don't need light, they don't need massive physical pressure-resistant shells. How? Because they possess a GANs, or gas in a nanostate body. They function purely on these indestructible magnetic gravitational fields, completely independent of the intense environmental pressure and the freezing cold. Now, take that concept back to us. Because the human soul is a magnetic field, it has no matter state, it's completely unaffected by temperature. So through voluntary transmutation, the soul can expand to completely envelop the physical body. By shielding the physical matter within the soul's field, it detaches from Earth's gravity. That allows for instantaneous travel to the moon, Mars, anywhere, bypassing physical speed limits entirely and just traveling at the speed of the fields. Finally, Phase 4, the macrocosmos and the ethos of Mitra. This is where we see the ultimate fractal nature of creation on a massive scale. It's beautifully surreal to realize that the macrocosmos perfectly mirrors our own inner biology. Galaxies and solar systems literally have internal organs. Star clusters function as specific cosmic organs, like kidneys, filtering excess cosmic elements right out of the blood of the universe. And exactly like us, our solar system absorbs 80% of its energy directly from the external galactic environment. It's all connected. So, to safely navigate this vast interconnected cosmic biology, one must follow a very specific moral geometry. The teachings call this the ethos of Mithra. It's a profound yet incredibly simple three-step path of absolute integrity. Talk good, think good, and act good. And listen, this isn't just a gentle philosophical guideline. It's mechanics. Because every single thought, word, and action you take creates an energetic field that interacts directly with your soul's trajectory. So, what actually happens when we deviate from this ethos? Lying isn't just a social faux pas. It literally has energetic physics attached to it. When you lie, it creates a discordant energetic field that acts exactly like a jet fire thruster on an aircraft. It physically pushes and violently diverts your soul completely off its true direct course toward the Creator. It's literal turbulence. Well, we've traveled from the deepest center of the human brain all the way to the edges of the universe today. So I want to leave you with this final thought to really contemplate. Have you established complete balance between your soul and your physical body to instantly reach the heart of the Creator? Take a moment. Let that linger. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope it sparks a new harmony within your own wondrous, expanding universe.
Yes, I thought that was a lovely video. I think one of the best ones yet. Called Cosmic Mechanics of the Soul. I'll put that link, the direct link to Ed's video into our chat here. And you can go to Ed's channel through that to have a look at some of his other videos as well. Okay, next we move on to the knowledge and understanding about the last 654th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And I have Marinez lined up for this. Would you like to go ahead, Marinez?
Okay. I didn't know it's me. What I just remember is that I need somebody else after that to continue. Because
Wait a minute, Mernez. I'm an early learner too. It's difficult to explain. Yeah, this is what Mr. Keshe was saying. We're just early learners into this whole process, but it's only you that can open it up and the way you open it.
Yeah. So what I learned, I really understood, I think, is that the soul of the man is in the brain, and everything has a soul which is inside, well hidden in a very a strongly covered place. So our soul is in the skull, and the earth also has the soul of it, and it has layers over that. So we can imagine that the soul, according to the magnetic gravity of the environment, created the levels of the pores around the earth as our body is created around our souls layer by layer. And that our spirit, soul of physicality, also is kind of energy which the cells of the body are functioning and in communication with it. And so everything we do, we are on planet Earth, so our center of us and center of the planet are always in contact together. And Mr. Keshe was to say, if you walk barefoot and you just try to be rooted on the earth, it helps you having better stamina in the work in life. So, so I pass it to Mark, that you can continue, please. Thank you.
As I said, I'm just an early learner, but it is a beautiful understanding that we're all asked to sort of open up. And the way you open it up, again, I was thinking when someone asked that question about the getting in touch with the soul, obviously it's a supreme multitasker. I mean, if it's able to track the blood cells and the actual living cells, it's just amazing, but it still has time to do more. Imagine somebody saying, well, I can't interact with you. I have 35 trillion things to do right now, or double that if you consider the other cells as well. But again, the mechanics of the soul. As we saw that room without a roof, the soul has its own life and its own line of communication, but it still has time for interacting with the physicality. It doesn't seem like it needs the physicality to exist, but the physicality does need the soul to exist. So we're learning a lot. It's a very simple structure, Mr. Keshe said, that we're in, but it's also a very highly complex structure. And this is what he's saying. If we can understand that little cell within our own body, we can understand how the galaxy works, the solar system works, the galaxy, the universe, the unicos. It all apparently works the same, but on bigger or smaller understanding of it or structure of it. So again, I did like the public service announcement about forbidding suicide, because again, you send a soul out into the universe that is only has one leg or one foot. And so that life of that soul in the universe will be shorter than it could have been. So that's why he said, even though it's a beautiful place to be, suicide is forbidden to get there. But he also said we're practicing and we get there at night. And we probably get there during the day as well. People taking siestas, having daydreams and so on. But now we're going to sort of command it in a way, using the emotion, the soul of physicality to actually ride the soul into this experience. But the soul is a supreme multitasker. I just can't imagine. I couldn't count to 1 trillion, never mind 70 trillion, and keeping track of it all, plus its own line of existence and communication and so on into the universe, which is open, I think, 24 hours a day. So again, understanding more about ourselves. But for the person that asks how to get in touch with the soul, it has time. And as Mehran has explained in that other video, acknowledge the soul and see what it'll do for you. Sometimes it speaks very subtly and very softly, and it only may appear for a microsecond or something, but you'll start to tune into it as you wish it to happen. Then, of course, there were a number of questions and so on. I thought of the cosmic stone Mr. Keshe was talking about releasing. I don't think, even though it'll be harder and last for centuries longer than current concrete, I think it'll come with its own way of returning it into its atomic structure when it's not needed anymore. This is probably part of environment. And then, of course, revitalizing the 150 herbs, which he must have been working on for some time. Again, I don't know if they just passed them through a cosmic ray, as he said, could be done with reversing GMO. Eventually, that will be the process. Just GMO seeds will be put that way. But what he's doing with these herbs, I don't know, but they're becoming more robust. And again, returning, they're not doing anything, but returning them back to their original position, which became indented by all of the pesticides, herbicides, contaminations of the water, and so on. So they're reversing that condition, and now these herbs. But unfortunate part of it all is you have to travel to China at this point in time to avail yourself of any of the wellness functions, other than perhaps in the game, which will come later with the cosmic ray antennas, because obviously everyone can't travel to China. Many don't even have a passport. But they're not going to go with paying to play in the United States or Europe, apparently. But if it's certified for $1.5 billion, as Mr. Keshe said, it's good enough for the rest. And of course, China is leading in so many technologies and so on. We're fairly safe in China. But hopefully the other nations open up to this, as I know with the contamination in the waters in Italy, which the foundation had referred to a number of times. That project has been shown and done. Unfortunately, it was classified. So we're going to see a lot of this. And as Rick said, we'll see much of it at the Swiss conference. So we continue to promote the coin, the game, and the network. And many of these things are really happening in the background. So continue to add your support to all these things on this energy dimension. Again, we can use our consciousness to manipulate things, but we're just early learners and we're all testing in a way. But I think as these rooms start to come in for feeding, it becomes sort of ingrained, or your soul remembers, or somehow something is changed positions that allow you to do some of these things without the actual structures. But that may take one time or a few times, or could go on for a longer time. So they're going to be asking many more questions as well, answering many more questions, asking them and also answering them. But it was beautiful to see this example in the teaching of the -273. And yes, matter state does stop, but the fields do not stop. And what I took from it is, as he said, those fields are your soul. So that energy cannot be stopped. And there's many more places in the universe colder than that. But again, fields not subject to temperature or pressure or time, apparently, as they can create their own time.
I thought that was a beautiful idea that was brought up, and it made an impact on me to think of that it's the tiny wee magnetic fields of the universe are not influenced by that temperature factor that is so important, has been in the past so important to the scientists and so on, to determine if something is able to animate, basically. And if we get down to that 0 Kelvin temperature, that means there's supposed to be no more motion. But in fact, that's only where the motion begins, because then the matter state stuff is not in the way of the magnetic fields, and they can actually manifest themselves more easily. So interesting.
Yes, this is where I'm thinking the creator lives, Rick.
And this is where the scientists on the leading edge are starting to discover these tiny wee magnetic fields that are all around us all the time, but they're in the nano level, so small that they can't even be easily measured or seen, but perhaps they can be felt. And that's where science has been lagging and lacking in the past decades. And I think that's where the new science is going to prevail. And we'll find out that interstitial fluid of the universe is full of these tiny wee magnetic fields. And that'll be the new source of energy for what they call 0-point energy devices and whatnot.
You mean like a power plant the size of an atom, perhaps?
Yes, indeed.
And you know, when Mr. Keshe said, or I must have heard it somewhere in the archives or somewhere, where he said the creator is a small, weak, and a giver. And I'm thinking, you know, the images I've been shown in church and other places is the creator on this very grand throne with all these other angels. And of course, the creator's larger and, you know, a lot of pomp and circumstances. But what we're finding out here is maybe the creator, the process of creation, as we saw in Beijing, starts from the smallest and builds up into the matter state, as opposed to this Big Bang idea.
Yes, and that's something that Mr. Keshe has been saying for many, many years, actually. And to a large extent, I couldn't really grasp that. You know, why does he keep saying we have to go smaller instead of bigger? And why not, you know, generate energy from having more stuff instead of less? But it's all about the less. And now we're finding the scientists are starting to finally start to catch up to Mr. Keshe's ideas and recognize that these tiny wee magnetic fields are actually the root of all the structure of the universe.
Yeah, and again, what we heard in the teaching and so on, when you think, speak, and act, you're creating a field. You're sending out a pulse. You know, if it's right or wrong or whatever, we try to balance them out. So you're unknowingly, we're definitely a huge field generator. Small, starting small, and then that field could expand. So this is why he's saying, bring peace into your universe and think, speak, and act good, which is a fundamental for here and universal travel.
Once we know about those fields and how they operate, then we can voluntarily offer to generate those fields rather than have it a sort of an occasional involuntary expression.
Right. And I know knowledge seekers have been seeking to measure fields. Mr. Keshe said they will come up or have with a measuring. Maybe you'd like to open that up in the Reactor group later or tomorrow for those joining about this measuring of the fields of the GANs.
And the best measuring instrument so far is our own body. So
yes, your soul is your best scout.
Yes. Okay. Well, perhaps we can move along to our next part here.
Are we pretty much on time, Rick? Or
I think so. We like to try to hear from Moshfek with transmutation time. Are you ready, Moshfek?
Yes, so this is Moshfek. So you guys are talking about kind of things I'm going to talk about. So in a sense, the introduction has already been done.
Hopefully we've complimented you, Moshfek.
Yeah, so let's see, you know, how where can we go with this beautiful introduction? The idea that low fields play an important role in understanding the creator and its function. So, you know, we heard that our body is a microcosm or a universe unto itself, where a creator exists, which is the soul, and various entities, cells and cluster of cells, kind of like stars, cluster of stars, exist there. So how do we learn to operate in this universe? And this is where we come to know how these cells or clusters of cells come to existence and serve their purpose in this universe we call our physical body. So it's not so much what the soul as something that provides the energy. The demand of the energy has to be there. The lower the field is, the stronger the demand. And the stronger the need to express, whether through magnetic field or physical manifestation. It's kind of like what we talk about, the way our wish is our command. When we wish, it turns into a command for something to happen. Same here as well. So that little wishes that we make have enormous impact in the universe we call humanity. So one way to understand, or one way to learn about these kind of operation is to examine our own universe or our own body and soul combination. So as we know now that it's a reactor system really. Reactor system capable of producing enormous variety of field. So how do we operate this reactor system? So today I'm going to introduce some ideas of how we can think of certain parts of our physical body, not so much as organs of our body, but field generator. Let's take the example of our hand. We have 5 fingers. And we know in one of the knowledge seekers workshop long back where Mr. Keshe revokes the prophetship of Moses, he mentioned about the fingers are used by some people to signal things. Thumb is the soul, middle finger is the soul of physicality, and pinky is the physicality. Representation and how you hold your hand expresses whether you want to engage completely with all 3 sides of it, or just physicality, or only by folding the thumb you can essentially say soul of physicality and physicality, not the soul. So there's things like that. But now let's take that idea. Thumb is the soul, middle finger is the soul of physicality, pinky is the physicality. Now, if we hold our hand in the cup shape right now, any of you can test this. Now imagine the soul, thumb being the stronger field, and the middle finger, the intermediate one, and the pinky is the lowest strength. So you create a rotation and try to see whether you can rotate it by make the rotation faster by increasing the field strength of the thumb. And you'll see a little bit warming up of the center of the palm. You can test it right now. And what I'm not saying is it's not just fiction. You can test it right now, and you can see this kind of changes happening. You can bring the 2 hands together and creates all for example, light. This we have talked about before. So here we are not using our fingers to grab something. We are essentially creating a field rotation. Something like a vortex. And the palm of our hand in this case is the center of the vortex. So
I'm not picturing exactly what you're saying. Could you make a sketch on this background that we have? Is that possible? Or?
Think of a bowl.
Okay.
Hold a bowl with your hand. That's the shape of your hand. Hold a bowl in the middle of your hand. That's the shape of your hand. Your hand is the shape of a bowl. That's it, and nothing more. And so the fingers are pointing up, and the bowl is sitting on your palm, and that's the shape I'm talking about here. Nothing more. It's very simple, really. Or a cup. You hold it with your hand, and try to rotate the fields from the strongest point, which is the thumb, and there is a potential difference between the middle finger and the thumb, and the middle finger and the pinky. You can even think of the intermediate fingers, the one between thumb and the middle finger, as the emotion between soul of man and soul of physicality. You can also think of the finger that's between the middle finger and the pinky as the intermediate field of emotions that is created between physicality and soul of physicality. So, and then, you can work in that way if that would work better for you. Some people may find it easier to do that way. So it's an example of we are using a system within our laboratory, which is our body, to test the rotation of the field. Why do we need to rotate the field? This is one of the most intriguing aspects of field manipulation. When you rotate field, you essentially multiply field. And in some instances, you want to rapidly increase a certain field, as you may do when you are lifting off. You have to generate a lot of energy very rapidly, and this is when you create the rotation. And you can see this in nature. Where do you see it? Dust devils. They lift up leaves and dust and grasses from the ground very quickly as they move around. So this is exactly the same type of motion I'm talking about here that we have to create. And I gave you an example of using the hand to experiment in this way. And you can test it. I mean, this is not something that I'm saying you have to take my word for it. You can test it yourself. Your body has this equipment. Your body is well equipped to do this kind of experiments. Why do we need to learn rotation? Because we have to make this rotation in various instances. And perhaps I can even relate to some of the things in the exercise that was prescribed of the breathing exercise. You may have tried to focus on certain pain in your body and try to remove it with transferring the emotion. Now, can we spin the emotion, or spinning the emotion in a sense of spinning the fields in such a way that we can intensify the field by creating this vortex phenomena? And in some cases, in certain instances, you have to kind of do the breathing a few times to get your pain under control. But when you multiply the field, you essentially bringing up a very high strength field into operation. And in that case, you collapse the time period that is needed to get your pain removed. So even in removing pain, you can use these kind of spinning motion. So it's we'll go much deeper into it as we learn to navigate using this kind of spinning motion, and how we set up a field outside the spacecraft, which we can use as a point of attraction to essentially direct the spaceship. And Mr. Keshe has talked about this. Unlike the conventional aircraft, which has the trail, which is, essentially the jet engine's exhaust going backwards, instead, in case of spaceships operating with gravitational magnetic field, you do this in the opposite direction, in front of you. When you do in front of you, what happens is that you project a field in front of you, and that is where the spaceship gets pulled into. And that particular field in front also determines how the area in that region is safe to go through, or does it need to adjust the field level so that it can go through. Let's say if there is a planet in front of the spaceship, if the field senses that there is a planet, it goes to a higher strength and becomes transparent. And the object becomes transparent, and the spaceship can go through it. So things like that. So these are the kind of things we will get into, but we'll learn more about these things as we go. And I'm sure Mr. Keshe will add his own things to the mix. But learning to manipulate fields in different ways within our body is the first step. And one of the things that in doing the exercise that was suggested in three knowledge seekers workshop back, 3 I think by now. And the interesting part that I have discovered is changing the scale of focus. This, in the sense that, sometimes you have to focus on certain small areas. Sometimes you have to focus on a large area. And changing focus and, adjusting to it is sometimes not as easy as I thought. At least for me, because especially, I've tried to change the color of a certain very small spot on my skin. And that was more difficult than, some doing the bigger ones. That's a very interesting thing. It was harder for me. Others may find it easier, but I usually am not, hurt prone or get hurt easily, but as I was doing this experiment, I kind of hurt myself in a very, very silly situation. And I was trying to focus on this pain. It hurt my toe. I hurt my toe, essentially front of my right foot. Okay, so I was focusing on certain parts of it, where I felt the pain. But, it went away, of course, but the thing is that the pain was not restricted to that area. It was much bigger than that. So although I focused on one area, which removed the pain, yes, fine, but the surrounding area was still hurting. So, I had to kind of change my focus and then work on that. And, but there I understood that I was not sensing correctly. My focus should have been different than my initial inclination of, the raw pain I was feeling at the moment. So this kind of things is that when we operate our reactor, we have to take into account a lot more than it may not be a trillion things, but we are capable of actually paying attention to multiple things simultaneously. I'll tell you why. So, I mean, you want to lift off with your body from the ground as a reactor system. So the body, in order to allow the body to function, you have to create a field around the body, which would be somewhere similar to the planetary environment that we are used to. Maybe we want to make it an AC temperature instead of like the hot and cold environment our nature provided at this moment. So this is one layer of field. But outside of that, there has to be another, which requires another set of emotion to engage, another set of fields, which would essentially reposition the soul with respect to the environment. So the magnetic gravitational field of that is very different from the one inside, which is the body is comfortable in. So this is a second layer of field that one has to engage and to do the navigation. Perhaps shielding comes, there is another. So what I'm saying is that it's not just one field we are talking about. You know, it's kind of like we have to think like women. I mean, as a guy, it's difficult, I know, for some of us. But we have to essentially focus on multiple emotions simultaneously. And to do these kind of multi-layer fields. So one simple, so I said, okay, this is, I mean, maintaining these two fields would be too hard for me at this point. So how can I simplify this experiment? So I said, okay, I will simplify this experiment by, you know, I'll just put my palm out, and the field that palm projects is going to be heat or cold at a certain place, and it will be a bubble around it. So I could sense that was happening. I have to verify. I haven't verified with some of my students, but that will happen soon, whether this really happens. Because this I have done, the same experiments I have done with Reactor I built. So it worked there. So I was doing it with my hand, and I could sense that the heat is building up. Then I said, okay, if I can build up heat in one side, can I build cold on another side? So with the other hand, I did cold. So we'll have to test all of these with somebody else around me, and how far I want to set this field so that there will be a zone where this kind of heat or cold, cooler situation will persist. So this way I can see that my bubble has this type of intensity that my emotion is telling me. And then there is the other aspect, which is how far am I extending? In a way, I'm creating two fields, but very simple fields. I am creating a heat field, and then it's up to a certain point it reaches. So this is a reactor operation, essentially, which is, I'm replicating an experiment which I have done long ago with a reactor, and this time I am the reactor. So these are kind of fun things to do, and I love doing it because it's so easy to set up. You don't have to build a reactor. I mean, that experiment took me some time to do because I had to, make the reactor, set it on a frame, and then, then connect with it with rods and so forth. But this is much easier. It's so much easier. And for that reason, it's extremely fun. So you are transmuting your environment into something that suits you, which in this case, although it's a very simple experiment of heating and cooling the environment, but when I create an environment where my body will be sustained, this little heat and little cooling will become an important part of the story. So in essence, it's a sort of like a smaller version of a bigger experiment, but by knowing how to operate with my emotion, I can start to create these kind of fields and have a degree of control over it. And then once I set up one field and then the next one, and then let's see whether I can combine the two, things like that. And you know, so these are some experiments I have done, and let's see how far it goes. But it's an experiment of a reactor system. I am not thinking in terms of a biological system. I'm thinking in terms of a reactor system in this case. And at some point, hopefully it will lift off. Let's see how far we go and how long it takes. So anyway, so various operations of reactors that Mr. Keshe has talked about over the years become very relevant in this context. And here I'm operating from inside, and it will work for, let's say, if I'm inside a spaceship with a reactor system similar to what we possess. So it's fun, and in a way you can, we have some experience, those of us who have tried to interact with healing other people, had some experience with sending energy to other people's reactor system and have them receive it. Sometimes they're unable to receive it. In those cases, nothing happens. But same with when we do these kind of experiments, sometimes we fail to sense the operation of the other end of the reactor. And then it becomes a little bit difficult. But we learn as we practice. So the important part is that although these breathing exercises may look simple, it has a lot more to it than one imagine at first glance. So delve into it. It's very rewarding, and it is transmutation for sure. But it takes a bit of patience. It takes a bit of trust and all that, and observation of little fields, little perturbation in the fields. That gives you kind of like a hint of how things are happening, where things are going, and then you can follow those threads. It's the little field that counts, not the big ones. Hope this all makes sense, and I invite everybody to participate. And if they want to share something along this line, I'll be glad to hear those. And thank you very much. And try doing this, and it's quite enjoyable actually. Thank you.
Thank you, Mashfaq. I think you've answered the question from YouTube about how do I achieve intuitive vision? Is there a breathing exercise? So that, I think, takes care of that. Now we have a hand up here with Ike. Would you like to go ahead, Ike, please?
Hi, Mosai. So let me understand one of the fundamentals in plasma that Mr. Keshe explained to us, that fields interaction occur when they are matched or when the light fields interact. Can you explain that?
Field match, what is a field? Field match is when strength matches another strength such that it is a multiple of this original strength. So hydrogen, in a way, is the fundamental, you can think of it as the fundamental field, principal field. And it matches with everything. So once you create hydrogen field, you can pretty much match with anything.
Okay.
But that's the fundamental. So, and but at a bigger scale, let's say carbon dioxide field. This is important for our survival. If you create fields that matches carbon dioxide, we are safe in that environment. Our physicality, our copper oxide, carbon dioxide, and CH3. These three sets of fields, you need these fields for our survival. So yeah, you can create very high strength fields, but they have to match these fields. Then it's a safe environment for us. Hydrogen is the general, so whether it's the smallest object or any physical material can sustain in that environment. But for us, that's not enough. We have to have these aggregate fields also match. So this is an example of why you need matching fields. So you get the idea. Similarly, it also has to match our soul level field, which is zinc oxide, the double of zinc oxide, which essentially takes you to the iodine. But anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, I understand now. So, in a sense, let's assume we have one field from one A to B, one point, just one field. And what you said, when I bend that field, that means I'm increasing the field. And that's to say that I'm increasing the field strength. Because by bending it, it's not linear anymore. It's interactions in different areas. So that increases the field strength. Is that so?
Yeah, if you have a higher strength field, a lower strength field cannot go through it, right? So you are essentially creating a barrier by putting up a higher strength field. And you have the bending of the field is that you have to you're creating a repulsion effect, right? A field is going in a certain direction, right? Let's assume a field is going in a certain direction, which means that there is a potential difference between where it's going and where you're starting from. So that's when only the current is flowing. The current can flow. And if from this higher to the lower point you're traveling, the current is traveling, and after a certain point you introduce a field that is stronger than your original source point, there will be a flow in the reverse direction, right? So in that way, you essentially have turned the current around. Let's say the point A is double that of point B. So you have a certain current as a result of this. And then you introduce a point C, which is double that of point A. So essentially, you'll have a reverse current the same as the original one because of this barrier. No. So you just turned around the current direction just by changing the field strength. See what I mean?
Yes.
So this is how you switch the polarity of the propagation of the field by putting up a different strength field, it doesn't have to reflect all of it. It can reflect part of it. That it's up to you how you set up the field. But you
correct. Yeah. So in a sense, when you say the fundamentals, we are all talking about hydrogen because that's where it starts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then increasing the field strength, let's say you have a plasma, increasing the field strength to get to that essence, which is the fundamental of hydrogen. Like you said, hydrogen is the and it can react with all.
Common denominator, you can think of
The
it
common,
that way.
lowest common denominator, LCM.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So you the goal is to always strive to create that essence of hydrogen from optimal interaction. Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, you, in certain cases, you may have to go below that, kind of like when you do inter-universal travel between universes, because the neutron strength of our universe is not identical to the other neutron strength. So there you have to operate beyond this hydrogen level. But for our universe, up to the boundary of our universe, it works.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So Rick,
Thank you, my dear Mosfeq.
oh, go ahead. Did you have a question for Mosfeq? I had one or two.
Oh, please go ahead. Welcome, Mark.
Yeah, Rick, if you can find that in the Universal Council video where Mr. Keshe holds his hand in a certain position, maybe that's a universal language to the soul. But Mosfeq, as I'm understanding this, the palm is the cup, the thumb is kind of the spoon that stirs the cup. We understand a field has directional motion. We understand and you're talking about creating a vortex. And a plasma has a directional motion as well as a rotational motion. Is there a linking? Are we transmuting a field into a plasma? Remember, a ray to a field, to a plasma, to a physics. And by stirring it, you're sort of creating that using some physicality, transmuting a field into a plasma, or is there no connection? I just thought there could be a connection when you said about
you're right. You're right. So, I mean, when you make your hand a bowl shape, the field is flowing in a circle, kind of like, the rim of the bowl is a circle. So, and it's moving from the thumb towards the middle finger to the pinky. So this is the motion of the field. And of course, there is a reverse motion that happens in the gravitational side, but let's simplify things and think of this motion. This is a circular motion. So when you have a circular motion, there is a current that flows through the center of the circle. Like, when current flows through the center of the circle, even in our conventional electricity, we have magnetic field, which is indicated by the fist, right fist. The thumb points to the direction of the current and the fist points to the magnetic field. So that's the circular field around the flow of the current. In this case, when we are creating this bowl motion, that circular motion of the rim of the bowl with the thumb, middle finger, and the pinky, we are also creating another current perpendicular to the bottom of the bowl and going up or down depending on the direction. So yes, we are stirring in the circular direction. There is a rotation, but there is an up and down, up motion as well, or down motion depending. In this case, if it's a counterclockwise rotation, if you look at it from the bottom, then the motion is going up. So you have these two motions together always. Whenever you have a linear motion, you have a circular motion around it. The best way to visualize is visualize our maggrav. It's a spring. You have a spring, and there is a current through the spring, and a current through the spring, and current through the hole of the spring as well. So it's the same idea, really.
And if I didn't have a thumb or a hand, could I accomplish the same?
Well, there you have to engage your thoughts, your feelings. People who have amputation, they can feel the presence of the limb. Similarly, if you didn't have a thumb, you can essentially project the field and
The
create
field of the thumb would still be there, even if the thumb was
and you
removed.
create, without the actual physical thumb. So this is how our little lizard friend builds its tail. It projects the field and essentially the design onto its body, and then it creates the tail. As you know, we are also capable of it. We just have forgotten about it. So it's the same thing. You can create this kind of field just by projecting your emotion off the hand in that area. You don't even have to bend your hand. You can keep your hand straight and just imagine your fingers folding and creating the fields. Try it. It's an interesting experiment.
Are you
don't
saying?
have to
Are you saying we haven't reached the understanding of a lizard?
Well, it's not just understanding. A lot less. It's not just understanding. It's understanding, then doing it, then wiggling it. None of us. None of it.
Because thoughts are fields too, right? That's why.
Thoughts are fields, and interaction of thoughts create standing wave or inertia. And once you have inertia, you condense the inertia further, it becomes physicality. Interacting thoughts create standing wave or inertia. Inertia, what does that word mean? Inert, becoming static. And once you have inertia and you condense the inertia, it's in the field state. You condense the inertia much like condensing vapor into solid ice. Same thing. And then you condense the inertia by applying gravitational field. So you're bringing things together closer. Or if you think about in terms of temperature, you're cooling it down. In the material state, cooling it down has the same effect as creating stronger gravitational field. And then, you get ice, or you get physicality of the lizard tail. So all of these connect, but, it's not the same as the field that you need to create the ice. Our fingers or our organic bodies have a variety of fields formed in this inertia. It's not just one kind. It can be in the trillions. But once we have the pattern set, all trillions fall into place. And this is where what emotion comes into play. And then you have the hand manifesting or tail manifesting.
Thank you,
So
Master.
the emotion in a sense is the visualization. You can, somebody was asking about visualizing, having visualizing field, I think the YouTube question. So you can think of these, emotion is essentially bringing out this. You're not so much visualizing with your eyes as much as feeling the presence of your thumb or the fingers. And then it comes into being just by compressing it, or pressurizing it. These are words that kind of like are familiar words, but not quite the same. But when I say pressurizing, it's the pressurization is different in different parts of the pattern that we call inertia or the design. And then as they come together in harmony, it becomes solid matter of hand or even a material object. You can manifest spaceship in the same way, really. Spaceship is actually easier than manifesting our hands. So when we learn to manifest our hands, building a spaceship around us could be much easier. Anyway, we're getting into the weeds. I don't want to go too far.
No problem. I just thought I'd put this image up, and I'm sure Rick understands it because he had a part in creating this video, but maybe we'll open it up in the Reactor group. Is this just Mr. Keshe raising his hand, or is there a special meaning to this? Is this a communication directly to another entity at the soul level? Because I'm not picking up exactly the meaning unless this was AI generated, which I don't think it was. I see the pinky is sort of separated from the three with the thumb tucked in a certain way. So maybe Rick, you'll share your understanding of this.
Yeah, this video has a lot of details, but I don't think we can go into that here at this point. But it would be fun to watch again.
It's just something to think about in between now and perhaps the Reactor group.
All right.
Maybe there's an actual teaching on this. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments on transmutation time?
I thank you. I thank you, Timothy. And thank you, my dear, for all this clarity. Yes, of course, the question that was asked about the other type of breathing, but there is no other breathing. The only one breathing that you are. The one breathing in and breathing out. And about the question that you have to have intuitions for as there is the other exercise. No, there is no such thing as other exercise to have some intuition. No, it comes with a vision, with the dream. When you breathe in our epic books or India, we have stories, like when we call Lord Shiva the soul seat of the soul, and he's sitting on them, and many, in penance, in worship, thousands of years, even a demon worships him, even a god. And I am representing demon as a bad being or god as a good being, kind of simple. And when the demon and the god both worship, kind of that, uh, in penance, like thousands of years they worship him to gain power, to take the lead, and the soul arrives and they together stand. And first the demon said, I will ask first. So the Lord Shiva says, yes, please. The demon says, I am worshipping you for thousands of years. So much pain, so much struggle I have done. So I desire many, many blessings from you. And Lord Shiva said, okay, tell me. Because he is one. He is one. He has to be like universal. Everybody is a being for him, in this equal for him, in this universal unified field. So the demon asked that I want to be an immortal. So Shiva said, done, you are now, from now. I also want a curse in my hand that whenever I put hand of any of human's head, he will turn into ash. So even an immortal will be like that. And Lord Shiva said, okay, done. And when he asked the god, the simple man, who is also, worshipping thousands of years, when he said, what do you want, my dear? The man said that you appeared, that is all for me. I know. And Shiva said, I know what you mean. And then that person was peacefully living with all his needs fulfilled as he understands. And he lived peacefully, eternally. And the demon, with his chaotic vision, chaotic manifestation, he was killing people with his, cursed hand. And one day, as he has given this blessing that no immortal cannot be, any immortal will be changed into ashes. And one day, in a dance movement. He put his hand on his forehead and changed into ashes. So it is the desire, it is the focus, it is the understanding of the ethos of Mitra, what you need, and that comes as an as an intuition according to you, what you understand. You call it an intuition, you call it a dream, you call it a vision, you call it a manifestation. There is the one soul and the one breathing. The focus is the most your intention. Well, if you say pure, pure will be in your aspect. What is pure? In my aspect, purity is different. Your aspect, purity is different. But in the universal unified field, pure is according to the ethos of Mitra, the universal law. Good is good for all. Talking is talking for all. We share. So the intuition comes, or the dream comes, or when you breathe in and have an intention for all that is, for the benefit of all. So my dear, this is the answer according to, there is no other breathing. Oneness. Oneness is the only thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Salam. Namaste. Salim. We can skip this if you, my dear. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shweta. We'll now move into the needs and wishes part of the program. Now, before we begin the needs and wishes here, I'll remind our attendees you have open microphones, and if you'd like to ask a question, now would be a good time to do that. We also have a question in YouTube from Luke, who says, "Hello, blessings. Will the Keshe Foundation bring plasma technology to Pakistan? I am so desperate for this to happen."
Yes.
Do we have any indication on Pakistan?
Well, I will say in the BRICS nations that are gathered, and the operations or the projects or the beauty is going on, most probably Pakistan, Afghanistan, many Asian countries. Well, the whole world is, the proportion is the whole world. And starting, as you are asking, Pakistan, of course, Pakistan is in the list, and it will be, like universal 1%, my dear. If you say slowly, and the universe is there, and it is coming to all of us as a being, all of humanity, and the humanity is all the planet, all descendants or residents of the planet Earth, my dear. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking the question. Yes, of course, Pakistan is there, indeed. Thank you. Thank you.
And part of bringing the new plasma technology to all the countries of the world is through the new Keshe coin technology, and that will enable a more easy way for people to access both the knowledge and the products of the Keshe Foundation, as well as to pay for them and to engage in that whole process. So I think with some patience, we'll see within the next months quite a few changes. The Keshe Foundation store is going to be radically changing into the Shopify system, and that will bring more universality to the processes and the technology. And the more we can make it universal and easy for folks to access at the same time as keep security and the ethics intact, I think you're going to see this technology spread very quickly to countries of the world that are considered perhaps less developed than the Western countries. They'll probably be the first ones to receive the actual technology. So be patient, and I think keep your eyes open for changes and participate as much as you can to bring the Keshe coin and the Keshe Foundation teachings to Pakistan and all the countries of the world.
Yes, you have said the right thing. Participate, my dear, with your soul. Participate, and, well, I will say, sign the peace treaty with your soul pen and participate. Well, I am so happy about it to say, my dear, that yes, those who have struggled from, well, I will say thousands of years, very, very poor countries, as India, as Pakistan, Bangladesh, um, Afghanistan, uh, of course, Keshe Foundation is going there. And of course, as the Keshe coin came, is here. Take the gift, my dear. Sign in for everything what you need. All, as you are here, all humanity, all the people you love, your country's people will get the benefit. Thank you so so much. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can move to our needs and wishes now.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, my dear Rick. We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East. Now we are present. Our wish is our command. We, the Universal Council, elevate and give from our souls to Colombian citizens to elevate their souls so that they may choose a life of peace while respecting vital rights. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul for protection of those living with fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wishes to cover all emotional and physical needs. Let's focus on Venezuela now.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population through the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. Our wish is our command, we are present. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed, with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all population because they are sovereign and free. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet.
Okay, thank you. That completes our needs and wishes part of the program, which brings us to the end of our program.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear. And then we are here to serve, not to be served, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this universal family, to this universal love, to this beauty and totality, to this oneness of the one planet, one nation, one race, for justice and world peace, into the beauty and totality of beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization, dear beautiful souls. Welcome, as we are all universal souls of love, of peace and abundance. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of all souls in existence, my dear, and in the love and beauty and abundance of all souls in existence. So, thank you so much for being here always with this beautiful souls you are. And gratitude, gratitude, gratitude from the core of my heart and soul, dear beautiful souls. And then, as we are closing for now, for today, now, and I wish in the next One Planet, One Race, we will be gathering again as a tribe, wishing peace, becoming peaceful messengers again, wishing all souls in existence to have peace and abundance and love. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute, the Universal Council.
Great, thank you, Shweta. And of course, thanks to all the members and support members of the Universal Council who not only put on these programs, but also do work in the background to help support the Keshe Foundation and bring the plasma technology and teachings into the planet and beyond. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's 443rd One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. Our next public teaching workshop, which has been alluded to, is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which will start tomorrow, Wednesday, August 12th at the 7 a.m. Central European Summer Time, which is the same as 10 p.m. this evening in Pacific time. That's Tuesday at 10 p.m. Pacific. And open to members of the public who would like to discuss or show the things of the plasma nature. And we cover a host of topics, and it sounds like we'll be looking at hand positions as hand mudras as part of our investigations in the next installment. So again, starting at 7 a.m. On Central European time tomorrow on Wednesday, August 12th. Then on Thursday, of course, we have the Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and that'll be at the usual 9 a.m. Central European Summer Time, so far as we know. And again, we'll hear from Mr. Keshe on the wonders of the universe and the practicality of bringing the plasma technology to good old planet Earth. All right, thanks again, everyone, for being here, and we'll go out in our usual manner. Flight Enhancement Spaceship Unit.
By the way, I'm happy. I'm happy. So clap, clap, and dance, dear beautiful souls. Be happy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Clap and dance. Thank you.
Thank you for your happiness, Shweta, and enthusiasm, and for all the other members of the Universal Council as well. Thank you, Mark, for co-hosting once again here today. And bye for now, everyone.